All right, good morning, everybody. We are ready to kick off another beautiful day here in the market. I'm looking for some more good trades here, some more good action. I've been pleasantly surprised the last week or two. Even though the volatility isn't really back, we have been getting some fairly decent opportunities. So, pretty excited about this second quarter. Started out the first week of this first quarter, on a real good note. Yesterday I was away from my computers most of the day, but ended up having a pretty decent day as well. So really looking forward to this quarter and kind of doing better than we did the first quarter. Before we get started, I just have one quick thought for you this morning. Do not accept your limitations. There's a saying out there that I think Einstein came up with it first. And I know he's a heck of a lot smarter than me. I'm not on that level. But, it says if you accept your limitations, you can go beyond them. But for me, if you accept something as a limitation, it's going to be hard for you to move beyond it because you accept it as a limitation. But then I guess it depends on, how well you see it. It's just like if you're driving down the highway and you see a speed limit sign that says 70 miles an hour. That's the speed limit for that road. If you accept that limit, you're never going to go past 70. But if you don't accept it, then you're going to be one of those that speed past us who accept limitations and, running 80 and 90 trying to get to their destination. But the key is not to accept your limitations. Because I know you've heard if you get to fight for if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And that is so true. Anytime we run into a roadblock or we run into something that's keeping us from getting to the next level, if we accept it, if we give power to that limitation, then we're fighting for it. And we're going to get to keep it. It's just like us, who are trying to learn how to trade and we're working a full-time job. And, we're saying that, there's no way I can do it. I don't have the time. I can't do this or I can't do that. Every time you give that power over you, you're accepting that limitation and you're defending it and you're fighting to keep it. I know this well. I mean, that I was that person. Until I learned not to give these limitations that I had power over me. When I learned not to accept it and drive forward, then they disappeared. And I was able to achieve my goals. My goal was to be home trading full time. And that was a goal I made for myself. Because I didn't accept the limitations of my job. I didn't accept the limitations that I had as being a father, as being a husband, as being, head of a household. I didn't accept those limitations. I drove beyond them. Now, that's not saying I didn't uphold my responsibilities, because that was job one. That was priority one. But I didn't let the limitations of those responsibilities stop me from achieving my dreams. And that's what we have to do. Too many of us, accept these limitations. I get emails a lot of times where, people are complaining about their limitations and telling me what they can't do. And all I say is, well, what can you do? That's the question you have to ask yourself. It's not about what can't you do or what limitations you have, but what can you do? And that's why we started this year off with our theme. Start where you are with what you have. You don't accept any limitations. Don't accept the fact that you may not have all the money you want. Don't accept the fact that you're not where you want to be right now. That's just more motivation to get you going in the right direction, to save a little more, to cut out some things so that you can have money in your trading account. So just think about that. Don't accept your limitations. Think about what happens when you start giving power to the limitations you have in your life. And especially in trading, when you start giving power to that, that's just another roadblock that you're going to have to deal with. That's going to keep you from being successful. All right, so let's look at what's going on in the market this morning here. See what Mr. Wall Street has in store for us today. Let's see. Well, we all know what happened with United Airlines. I'm sure we've all seen that in that video. But it's recovering some of that gap, so we'll take a look at it. TNXP definitely, look at that, 250,000 share float. This thing ought to be insane today. Now you can tell I have changed the dollar amount on my scanner to include up to like $350 stocks, just so I can start looking at them and I can start trying to figure out whether they are tradable or not. They make huge moves, and if I can get 50 shares on a 5 or 6 point move and it's solid, why not? So we're gonna, I'm gonna be looking at those as well. Let's see what's the news on this. PNRA. See, PNRA. So we had a gap up a couple days ago, but this is disappointing for a $300 stock. Only $1.30 move yesterday. What's the average true range on this? But look, the average true range is 722. But that's just like a lot of stocks yesterday didn't move. They had an average true range, a big average true range, and it only moved like a third of it. So a lot of stocks that I tend to look at didn't really have moves yesterday, which was surprising. But then again, the volume was low on all of it. Okay, this one is pretty unique. This is a $300 stock, but you got a 20 million share float. It's a low float stock. Alright, and there's a rumor of a buyout on 3G Capital, which is backed by Warren Buffett. None of the companies came out and said this is exactly what we're doing. that we are going with this. There is a story out saying that, the Panera Bread founder is looking to sell it, but nothing concrete. They haven't said that this 3G Capital has actually made a bid yet. This is saying could make a bid. So this may be in play today. We get some volume and we get some activity going. It may be in play. Now I don't know with this float, how this thing is going to react, but it's going to be worth a watch anyway. We don't really know how this thing is going to react. Plus, I would like somebody to come out and say one way or the other whether this is a rumor or whether this is whether there was an actual bid. So I would be curious to know. Alright, let's take a look at this scanner. It's pretty short today, not a whole lot going on, it looks like. Let's see, AXON, we'll take a look at what's going on with it. And we had a big gap up day yesterday. Public offering. Yeah, not really interested in that. That's an ETF, so not in my wheelhouse. Yeah, so only got a few that we can look at this morning. Let's take a look at PNRA first. Just kind of curious what this chart looks like this morning. I see why
Russia's
we had
Putin
that
says has heard U.S. is preparing strikes on southern Damascus suburbs.
Right, hold on. Let me silence Benzinger Charlie here for a few. I see. This is why we had that big ATR. Because within the last 14 days, we had this massive gap up. And we had this huge candle here.
CYTX Satori.
So
pricing its
see why we
8.6
had that
million
ATR.
share offering at $1.10 per share. That's
not
Charlie
much
Yankee
movement
Tango
right now.
X-ray. Satori Therapeutics.
Yeah, not something I would look to be interested in right now. Alright, let's look at UAL. Not sure how much movement this is going to get today. A lot of the gap down happened yesterday after close, and then we recovered a lot of it. You can see
SGMS Scientific
we
Games
recovered a lot of
acquires
this
Bingo
gap this
Showdown.
morning.
Creator Spice
We
Rack
ran
Media.
into this 70-30
Terms were not disclosed.
resistance
Sandy
here.
Golf, Michael Sandy.
But we are grinding up, so we'll kind of keep an eye on it to see what it's going to give us at the open. But this is worth watching. Let's see if we can get an opening range trade on it. So yeah, nothing else. Nothing else on the scan right now. Don't see much going on. I may have to wait and see. to wait and see what the day is going to bring. We can go back. We can look at AAOI. This is the stock. I'm averaging a little over $300 a day profit on this stock over the last 7 days. And what I'm looking for is this to lose this 50-day. The 50-day is pretty strong. It's held up for 4 days in a row. And this morning, you can see we gapped up here. We're at 45.36. So we have gapped up. But it is below the 50-day. The 50-day is 44.67. And we are below it even still. So again, I'm looking for a confirmed hold, a confirmed loss of this 50-day. And we have a good clean, window down to 38.80s. Or let's say 39, because this is at 38.89. We have a nice window. Could possibly get through this down to the 90-day. But the key is it's got to lose this. And we are making lower highs. See, we're making lower highs and we're making lower lows. So we should be in good shape here. But I'm not in it right now. I'm not in the swing right now. I'm still kind of waiting for that to set up. And I'm not going to jump in and I'm not going to anticipate this. So I'm going to take it slow. Oh, excuse me. Gonna take it slow and easy. Yesterday I was patient at the open. And it paid off. For the most part, anyway. See if I can find anything else. Yep, nothing else is moving. This is gonna maybe a quiet morning. And again, just like I did yesterday morning, the open, I just sat on my hands. I didn't have anything. Wasn't really in on any moves. We did have a couple that gave some good opening range moves, but nothing that was in my wheelhouse, and I didn't go chasing. So I was kind of proud of myself in that respect. I realized last week after analyzing some of my trades, I realized that my patience wasn't where it needed to be. I was taking too many trades where I was speculating. I wasn't waiting for confirmation. I was getting in because it looked like it was going to do it. I didn't take time to read the price action. I started giving too much credit to my technical levels. And technical levels are good, and you need to respect them. But they're just a tool, just like anything else. And you have to use price action. You have to look at the whole picture and make your decisions based on the whole picture. And in some cases I was a little stubborn where I knew and I saw that the stock was not going to work, but I stayed in it and ended up, losing. So I have to do better than that. So my concern here on AAOI is that it looks like we're trying to form a bull flag. So gonna have to wait and see. I'm not getting in that until I see a break either to the upside or to the downside. And then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do from there.
AIQ, Alpha India Quebec, is halted for news. AIQ halted pending news.
Let's see, so that's gonna be it. I don't really have much of a watch list today. I'll be watching UAL
NADL North Atlantic
and
Drilling.
PNRA. Not sure.
Market highs to $1.84. That's up from the close of 73 cents. As the company announcing earlier
If there's
this morning,
any
contract awards for
real opportunity there. The open is going to tell. Right now, I don't see much, but we'll see when it opens and we get volume in
Delta
as to
Lima.
What this thing might do. AAOI is still on my watch. I'm looking for it for a longer term swing trade. But other than that, I don't really see much this morning to watch. We'll be reactive just like we were yesterday. We may sit through the open and then wait for some secondary moves to set up. That may seem like the smart move this morning. All right, so there you go. Let me share this with the world.
Alliance Healthcare Services enter into definitive merger agreement. Transaction result in company going private. That's AIQ. Deal for $13.25 per share.
Yeah, AXON is going to have some volume.
India, Quebec shares were
They
halted ahead of that news.
Announced a public offering. So it's going to have it's going to get some volume. It's going to get some it's going to get some attention. I don't know why I'm yarning so much today.
Alliance Healthcare closed at 10.05 on Monday, being acquired for $13.25 per share.
I wonder if my body's fighting off something.
Redbook U.S. retail sales.
But let me show you.
9% versus March.
AXON. This is kind of why I don't like trading.
A year ago.
Public offerings. We're starting to get some volume in here, but we've been kind of stuck in a range here. And unless this breaks out
stake in Taiwan chlorine industries,
and starts really moving, there's really no opportunity for me. I mean, it may be scalp opportunities. For the type moves I'm looking for, AXON just doesn't seem like it's going to give it.
TACL, Del Taco signs franchise deal to expand presence in
but it
Georgia.
does have potential.
Tango Alpha Charlie Oscar.
As you can see, it is on our gap scan. If it's not, it was on our gap scan. Yep. 267 shares of volume. 267 shares traded this morning. And that's nothing to sneeze at. We do have a slightly higher float, 99 million share float. But, which is going to limit what it can really do. It's going to limit the range unless you get massive amounts of volume in here. We're in Q2. So, the Q1 earnings report should start here very shortly. I can't remember I don't know the date that it's gonna start. I was looking at it this weekend. I need to check and see. We've already got some Q1 earnings reported. So we're already in the Q1 earnings season. We're already in it. We've got so far, I think 25 S&P 500 members have already released their earnings. But April 13th is when it's going to really start firing up. So you may want to say the earnings season will officially open April 13th, which is this Thursday. But we've already got some companies that have reported their Q1 earnings. So it's actually unofficially has already started.
INO, Inovio Ebola vaccine demonstrates immune responses with favorable safety profile and expanded clinical trial. India November Oscar.
URI is not even in play right now.
SBBX, such as Bancorp, announces a merger with Community Bank.
It has no volume this morning. It hasn't even opened.
Transaction presently valued at $45.4 million, or about $23.50.
You'd have to wait until the open to see if you get any opportunities. But as far as it showing that it's in play right now, it's not.
GLBS, Globus Maritime, reached an agreement with two of its
So
lenders.
if it's something that you've been following or stock that you've been following, then just keep an eye on it at open to see if volume comes in and it sets up for one of the strategies that you trade. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Looks like the morning is going to start out relatively slow.
Shares of
but in the past, this looked this bad, and then I made the most money in the morning. So we'll just have to wait and see. You can't really be biased. Just keep an open mind, and if you're watching something in particular, just keep your eye on it. See if it sets up for what you're looking for. But don't force it. If it doesn't set up, just hang back and wait.
And Novio says results across both stages of trial
6+ hours of opportunity here.
Subjects generated an Ebola-specific antibody.
So, all right, guys, I'm gonna sign off for the morning show. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to trade for skill.
Premarket GLBS.
Work on and keep on developing your skill of trading, because if you trade for that skill, at the end of the day, you're gonna be counting those bills. And yeah, it starts off counting a couple of dollars a day, but before you know it, you're going to start making a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Because if you've been following me since January, you see we were making, $30, $40, $50 gains on these small position sizes, but we were developing the skill. And we took that same skill, increased position sizing, and now we're making decent money per week. Now the last week in March was terrible. I only made $200, but all of the weeks prior, we've had pretty decent weeks. And last week we had a pretty decent week. So it's just a matter of developing that skill, learning how to trade small, perfecting it, and then slowly increasing your position sizes. And as you do, you're going to continuously make a little bit of money. So, all right, guys, take it easy and have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Remember, tomorrow is Sneak Peek Wednesday, so we won't be signing off at 9. We'll be hanging out
2017 total club and restaurant sales,
for the first hour through open. So we'll see you first thing tomorrow.
Same store sales, 32.
You're welcome, guys.
Versus 31.8 million. That's RICK.